Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel. I just wanted to share a very helpful tip to you guys, and it's going to sound like, huh? What? But hear me out here. Um, a part of what keeps a lot of people stuck is they don't know how to make the shift. They don't know how to make a change in how they've been operating energetically to how they are now, okay? So one thing that is going to be helpful with this is you're going to have to absolutely become rebellious. And this is going to be like, there may be some resistance to some of you because if we think about it, we end up in these toxic relationships as adults because as a child we were molded, we were sculpted, we were primed, we were trained, to be submissive, to go with the flow, to not have a loud voice, to not ruffle feathers, to push down our needs and desires, to take second best, to just go along, just to maintain the peace. Meanwhile, we have this inner turmoil going on within us. So you're going to have to learn how to become rebellious and rebel against the old you and the old way of you operating and the way that people have told you, when we're doing that shadow work and the things that we learn in our primitive years are, back when this whole thing started, and the seed was planted and watered over and over to the point where it's perpetuating, in all of your relationships now. You have to learn how to rebel against that, and it's going to feel weird because you're used to being so agreeable. You're used to just going along with the status quo. You're used to not ruffling any feathers. You're used to caring about too much of what other people think. You have to rebel against that whole type of energy, like become rebellious about it and unapologetically so. And that is the way that you're going to be able to have that shift, and it's important, unapologetically so. You don't want to have a conflict about doing that, because in our emotional maturity, we'll see how being the other way hasn't served us in the point that it's currently led us to. You see what I'm saying? So it's okay to be a rebel. If we look back and throughout history, it was those rebels that were the trailblazers that invoked or provoked a certain shift, a certain change. And these people leave their mark, and you don't forget about it. You just don't forget about it. So yeah, when you do this to a narcissist, they ain't gonna forget about it. Okay? But it's not really at this point about being unforgettable. It's just about being authentic. It's about walking in self-care. It's about, reconnecting with the self-love. It's about, getting what you deserve. It's about being reciprocated, you guys. It's about getting your happily ever after. It's about finding peace and harmony. It's about bringing balance back into your life. All of these things, you guys, you're going to have to rebel against that old person, and it's going to feel strange because you're used to being that way more than you're used to being this way. And this is what makes change so hard to begin with all human beings. The people who are successful at change, they went through, the hard time where they felt the push and pull as well, with the old self and the new self, with the dark side and the light side, and the evolved self and the lesser evolved self. And, we create these habits, and it's like, I'm just so used to it. Sometimes we're on autopilot even, and that's even more, penetrated, where we really have to be mindful. We really have to think before we speak. We really have to be intentional, you guys. But understand there's going to be an element of rebellion. It's going to be, you know what? No, that's not me anymore. Or no, I'm not giving into that anymore. No, I refuse to continue anymore. And that's unapologetic because I know what's best for my higher good at this point. You see what I'm saying? So I think I've talked about a lot on this channel about having the right perceptions of things. Like, all endings aren't bad. All breakups aren't bad. And, seeing an ending as a beginning. And the same thing with being a rebel. A lot of times when we have been abused over and over, or we have been trained to be super submissive to our detriment, okay? We're taught that being a rebel, ruffling a feather, going to the left when everyone's going to the right is a bad. You're being bad. You're a troublemaker and this and that. And this is where, we have to start retraining ourselves. No, sometimes it's necessary. That's why there's a yin with the yang. Everything works together to balance out in this whole ecosystem, if you will. And now we're talking about psychologically here, which will manifest into our physical reality here. And everything, yet again, is still working together and connected, you guys. So nothing is generally all bad or all good, if you will. There's a fine balance and delicacy for everything. Just like, some people hate death. But what if people never died? Where would we all be? Where would there be space on the earth for all these human beings that have ever lived and all the living creatures that have ever lived? We will be on top of each other. So everything, even the stuff that we feel uncomfortable with, even that we feel is unpleasant or what have you be, there's a purpose for it, you guys. So with being rebellious, understanding in our emotional maturity why you have to rebel right now and what purpose that's serving in your life, in your waking life, on your journey, you guys. So yeah, I wanted to come on here, just take a moment from mommy mode around this home, just to talk to you guys about that. Sometimes you just have to be rebellious. You just have to rebel against pretty much your whole existence in the way that you were operating, because it was in the left field. It was in the left field. Or you're trying to elevate above that. You're trying to level up now. You're trying to go to the next level, you guys. You're trying to get to the next level of consciousness and being in your life. Get promoted. All of these things, you guys, is going to be a level of rebellion. And with that can be some resistance early on. But you just know that moving on, going into it. Just like if I were to stop taking crack, if I was a crackhead and I stopped taking crack, I'm going to go through withdrawal. There's going to be some discomfort. There's always going to be some discomfort involved when you are shifting, because you're dealing with the ego and the flesh. You need to understand it, because you're dealing with the ego and the flesh, and it is very superficial. It is very fleshful, okay? It's not your soul and your spirit. Your soul and spirit wants you to rebel against these things, because it knows, looking at the bigger picture, what you need and what you don't need to be successful and to get on your right path, or to progress where you need to go in the right direction, and this and that, okay? So we're going to have to be rebellious, okay? Yes, I'm a rebel, baby. I'm a rebel when it comes to that. I'm a rebel when it comes to reconnecting to myself. I'm a rebel when it comes to making the shifts, making the changes that I need to get back balance in my life, to have the self-care, to have the self-worth, to have the self-love. Unapologetically so, baby. Whether you understand me or not, baby, whether you agree with it or not, this is your journey. It's your life. You're the only one that can live it. Yes, you can spend your life letting other people dictate it. You can spend your life, living through what other people tell you to do and not honoring yourself and your voice. You can do that, but it's still going to be your life that you're choosing to live that way. No, we're rebelling against that. That's not what we're doing anymore. Nope. We're not doing that anymore. So we're going to become rebellious, baby. Rebellious for the right cause, because that's what rebels have done throughout, man existence. There's a cause, there's a reason for them needing that rebellious, because that shift needs to come, and that's it. Enough has been enough. You see what I'm saying? So let me know down in the comment section if you've been that rebel yet, or you're making that decision to be that rebel, and unapologetically so. Okay. Message. Take care, you guys. Until the next video, never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work. And until next time, please take care.